Good evening, everyone. Up for another hot sauce test. It's been a couple of days. This is just a breathe right strip. I didn't break my nose or cut it or anything. Just been having some snoring difficulties. I may have already said that at another point, but if I didn't, there's the clarification. As I said and showed you a couple videos ago, got my order from Blair's last week, and I got right here the Golden Death sauce. It says with chipotle. This is, according to their website, this is the brand new one. Still get the cool keychain. And we have Scotch bonnet peppers, fresh onion, cane vinegar, mustard seeds, habanero powder, salt, turmeric, which probably gives it that rich yellow color, and the Scotch bonnets are yellow when they're ripe too, so. Oh, and mustard seeds, that'll give it some yellowish color, orange color. Anyway, after turmeric we have chipotle and ascorbic acid, which is just vitamin C. Add a nice little tartness to it, and 15% vitamin C per teaspoon. So that's not bad. Take out the ongoing official knife and we'll split this bad boy open. And my souvenir, which will summarily go on my spoon here. I'm going to put every last one of the Blair's keychains that I get on here. Try and show you. You can read right here on the back of the skull. That's the one from the Muerte, and then this is the one from the Pure Death. So every one of them is going on there, and I'm going to write the name of the sauce that it came off of in permanent marker on the back there, in an area that's less likely to get smudged on the back of the jawbone there. Well, without further ado, shake this up. Looks like it's got a really nice consistency. Not super chunky or thick. The Pure Death was nice and chunky with almost a salsa-like texture, and the Muerte was kind of a salsa-ish consistency as well. Ooh. And I can smell that turmeric. It has that earthy flavor or smell to it. Definitely got that mustard coming through in the background a little bit. Can't really smell the Scotch bonnets or the chipotle. Smells different than the others. Smells similar to the Professor Fart Pounders that I had before, which also had Scotch bonnets and then mustard in it. Different formula, but some similar ingredients and similar smell straight off the bat. Can't really smell the peppers. It's got a really nice, really smooth texture to it. I don't know if to show you. I don't want to get too close here. Look at that. I can taste the Scotch bonnet now a little bit while I'm eating it. Not really chipotle coming through. Heating up a bit on all around my tongue. I can feel. Ooh. Little mustard flavor with a bit of Scotch bonnet flavor starts coming through. That turmeric undertone kind of balances it out. It's a little bit salty, not as tart, shall we say, as some of the other ones. Not as much acidity, which isn't necessarily bad. This one would be great on wings. Actually, the texture is perfect for it. Nice, smooth texture, not too watery to coat wings. Not really any with the onion flavor coming through with the heat. A little bit on my lips, especially right here. I must have touched the spoon or something on the corner there. Just a good all-over glow. When I swallow, I feel a tiny little bit in my throat here. Not much going on with that at the moment. It's mainly inside my lips, and even on my lips now, and my whole tongue. A little bit on the roof of my mouth and underneath my, and the soft part on the bottom underneath my tongue there. Lingering, a little bit of a mustard flavor. Maybe some faint hints of the Scotch bonnets. My sense of taste is slightly diminished right now. Nasal passages are starting to clear out. A little bit of drooling, but not significant. It's a fair drooling going on. Saliva in the back of my mouth, on the back of my tongue, thickening. Yeah, top of my tongue's picking up a little bit more, but not all that much. Just a tiny bit. Subsiding elsewhere in my mouth, except for my lips are starting to glow a little bit more now. Yeah, not really much happening in the throat. Faint tingle, maybe, at this point. A tiny bit of warmth, embers right here, in here, but it's pretty mute compared to my tongue. My tongue's got a really good glow. It's not extreme. It's according to the heat charts anyway, it's only like, a third or way up, or maybe halfway up the scale. So I mean, it's got a good key. I mean, it's got habanero powder and Scotch bonnets in it, so fairly hot peppers, especially when Scotch bonnets are the first ingredient. Although I don't think Scotch bonnets are quite as hot on the Scoville scale as regular habaneros. I could be wrong about that, but I think that they're a little bit milder heat-wise. They're still miles away hotter than most other hot peppers that are commercially available. But I think they're just slightly milder, but I'll look that up and see if I can discover the truth behind that. Not really any chipotle flavor. Try a little more. I can't really taste any chipotle. It's very savory sauce overall. This, like I said, this really, texture-wise, flavor-wise, heat-wise, perfect for some buffalo wings. Add a little bit different of a flavor, somewhat like a honey mustard wing. It's not exactly a honey mustard flavor. It's got the mustard tang and the mustard earthiness to it. The turmeric brings that out too, and kind of squares it in, locks it in with the vinegar without, or to balance it out so that it's not too briny of a sauce. Could use a little bit less salt maybe. But overall the flavor is pretty satisfying. A little bit of that Scotch bonnet flavor and the habanero kind of mingling in there together. I really get the onion, maybe a little bit, but not all that much. Got a little, taking that second taste of it, a little bit warm right in the middle of my chest now. Swallowed it. I didn't swish it around in my mouth as much. That being said, back of my tongue picked up a little bit more now too with that. Lips are going at about the same level. Roof of my mouth. It's not really much happening with that. It's numb to taste. Not numb, like I can't feel, but I can tell the taste sensations aren't being transmitted to my brain. Aftertaste is pretty good. A little bit of that turmeric earthiness to it. I still am not getting any chipotle. I'll try this again off camera. That's and obviously I'm going to use the rest of this. It's a good sauce. Haven't been disappointed in the Blair sauces so far. This one's probably my least favorite, just because it's a little bit saltier than I usually care for. Not as much vinegariness. I don't like it to be super vinegary per se, but I like to have a little bit more of that and a little bit less of the saltiness, because to me it kind of cuts into the flavor when you're battling too much saltiness. I don't really put salt on my food. I use hot sauces, but I never just really sprinkle salt on my food. Pretty much the only thing I use salt for is a little dash in my oatmeal so it doesn't boil over in the morning for breakfast, and that's about it. The extent of my salt usage, besides what they put in different hot sauces. So that being said, this one is a little bit saltier than I usually care for it, but the overall flavor is pretty decent. A nice mustardy turmeric flavor gives it that earthiness, which balances out the vinegar. Vinegar is the third ingredient according to this. Onions are the second. I didn't taste the onions all that much except in the aftertaste. The vinegar was good. I could detect it, especially with the second taste, but it wasn't as strong and pronounced as I would care for with a mustard-based sauce like this. Good Scotch bonnet and habanero flavor. They kind of intertwined in one another. Bring a good habanero type flavor, which really balanced out with the surprisingly melded well with the yellows, as it were, the turmeric and the mustard. Chipotle, I just didn't detect it. They put it on the front of the bottle too. I was expecting at least a little bit of that smokiness, but not even in the aftertaste. Now it's 7 minutes after I ate it, 8 minutes after. So Blair's Golden Death, good, nice mustardy flavor, a little bit salty for my liking, but I would still recommend giving it a try because overall it's good. It's a unique flavored sauce, and I would recommend throwing this on some boneless chicken wings or on some other sort of boneless wings. Yeah, good.